Now is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it
Behold
could?
the majesty of the Sistine ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are aboard the Disney Fantasy. It is day 4, somehow already.
What?
Day 4. We were going to record every day, a little bit every day.
Yeah.
But we have the kids. For the kids.
For the kids.
We have Mama and Papa Dillo on their first vacation in 2 years.
Yeah.
So things have been a little haphazard, but Jen, do you want to table the theme park, the pre-game talk, for another time? Just talk about the cruise right now.
We can do that because I feel like this has to be 2 parts because that's its own.
It's its own episode, and there was a lot to discuss. If you checked out our Instagram live last week, which was what is time anymore?
What is time? Friday night?
No, it's Friday the 16th of August.
Yeah, I think
we did
so.
an Instagram live from the boardwalk at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So here we are, day 4. We were on the Fantasy 2 years ago in 2022. Jen,
Yeah.
what are your takeaways in these first 4 days compared to 2022?
Oh my goodness, all the things. I mean, so today is the first day we're at a port, and we typically don't get off at a lot of ports. It's just how we roll. So the ship is a little quieter today, which is nice. We were feeling like perhaps because it was 2022 and times were still that perhaps the crowds weren't as big in 2022. It feels a little more crowded now.
Yeah.
However, the food, it feels like there's been an improvement on the food so far. But like at the same time, show is still great. We saw Aladdin. We felt like that was even better than the last time,
Right.
and we loved it the last time. We've seen a variety of characters, which I think has been cool. And we felt like we saw a lot last time.
Right.
That was like one of our favorite things about the cruise. So now I feel like there's been more of a variety of them, which has been nice. But yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking?
No, I think that's the big one. I mean, again, to reiterate, in 2022 we had to test before we got on board. There was still, I think it was the last week of social distancing with the characters. We couldn't be, there was still spacing involved when you would take photo ops with the characters. So that there were still characters meandering. Yeah. But I felt like the kids could get in close sometimes, but we did not.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that, and I think, as in most places in 2022, there was staffing that was ramping back up. There was quality controls that needed to be picked up. So yeah, I think compared to 2022, the food, I know the first couple of days I was disappointed in the food to the point where later in the cruise I would look at the menu and not know what I wanted because I couldn't trust how good or otherwise it would be. So now I feel like the first 3 nights here the food has been good, and so now I feel good about the rest of the week, and that was a big thing for last year. And then shout out already to our staff with Kendall and Howard and Gemma.
Yes.
So they've been great. I think that's also been part of the pop, of Disney, that is.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think we've always had like the friendly Disney experiences, and they were friendly 2 years ago, but I do feel like there's that extra spark of Disney magic on this one, more so than that. But again, staffing issues. I think there were food shortage issues back then. There's a lot happening. So, but yeah, I do feel like that Disney magic is here with the service that's happening and the interactions that are happening. And yeah, and again, because we're in port today, the pools are a little quieter, which is nice. They weren't just playing Cars. So
One of my favorites.
That's fine.
Cars, Pixar Cars is fine.
I guess watching a movie by a pool on a Disney cruise ship is fine.
Poor
it doesn't
us.
matter.
Poor us. Yeah, we watched The Descendants: Rise of Red yesterday in the movie theater, which is the first movie I've seen in both trips inside the theater. And that was cool because it was the first time I really paid attention to the Rise of Red after 6 viewings at home.
Yeah, for sure. And there's been a lot of camp time for the kids. You know, they've done boot camp with the Green Army Man. They've done story time with Cinderella and Tiana. Frank met a celebrity.
I did.
At camp.
I went to camp at 9 a.m. on day 3 to stand in line for C-3PO because I've never done a photo op with C-3PO, and it had to be done. It must be done. Chewbacca, yes. Vader, yes. Darth Maul, yes. Never. Not Darth Maul. What did I just say? Kylo Ren. Yes, I'm fine. I was the first day I'm off my medication too, which is great. The patch is not behind the ear anymore.
Right. Yeah. The boat's not moving, so we can be medication free.
So Kylo Ren. So yeah, that was a must do for me, was to take a photo op with C-3PO, and then I ran into Mickey on the way out. So you know, as tends to happen.
That's a win. We did spend quite a few hours in O'Gill's last night, which is our stomping ground. We did find out there's no trivia at night anymore, which makes us a little sad because Frank, you know, won
Dominated.
that tote last time, and we were hoping for more of that. But you know, still a good time. Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to Nigel.
Yep.
Because last time, if everyone recalls from my many TikToks, Instagram Reels, I don't know where else I put it, but I loved the drink that I had at O'Gill's, which I don't know what it's called, but it was some sort of coffee and Baileys and whipped cream and yada yada yada. So we realized it was a specially made from our last bartender 2 years ago, Sunny. So now Nigel has put his own little twist on it and made me a similar beverage, which was delicious as well. So
yeah, went from the Sunny special to the Nigel sequel.
Yes, so it's working out.
But Georgia has been great. So obviously, once she was great on night 1, we know like we're going to be there as much as humanly possible because we are the Dillos.
Obviously. The girls have done Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. We did that day 2 right out, so that was perfect for formal night. We had an Aurora and not a Cinderella, that was last time, and an Ariel. The 10-year-old has a Feedspot simulator, so he did a lot of baseball, which, you know, he's probably been, I don't know, is he shaken from not playing baseball because that's all he was doing every day all summer in the backyard, but he finally got a little baseball time in, so that was good too.
And obviously, Papa Dillo's ear has been getting chewed off by all the baseball talk from the 10-year-old.
All the stats, all the time. So yeah.
And I think that is the quick recap of everything. I thought also getting on the ship was a lot easier than last time. And again, I don't know if that was staffing or testing or everything being double and triple checked. I don't know, but it was a really smooth boarding process, and which will make it harder because personally I don't see myself being on this ship anytime soon again. I think if the right situation came up for a smaller trip in different ports, different ship, whatever. So right now I feel like I'm in the Am I taking advantage of everything that is on this ship?
Right.
That's the hard part.
Try to take it all in. But I feel like we felt like that 2 years ago too. Like, this is it. This is our vacation. And but I was feeling like that this trip too, because we stayed in the boardwalk first and then went to this. And I mean, that's the dream. Mr. Snidillo and I for years are like, the dream is you stay at a deluxe resort and then you go on a cruise, and that's like amazing. And so we did that, and again, we'll get to the Walt Disney World portion, but it was quite the whirlwind. All fun, all good, but quite the whirlwind. So it's like, do we take enough in? Do we really enjoy it? Is it okay? That deluxe bed, it's still amazing. So that's.
Jen's been sleeping on air mattresses for 2 months. Any bed was good.
That's a fact. So it's going to be even better regardless.
The Snidillo renovation. Yes. What is it called? What is the
Snidillovation?
Snidillovation.
Right, which I only did 2 updates of, and we're way behind on updates on that one. So yeah, that'll coming soon, maybe from the renovated house. So when those updates happen again.
And then Mr. Snidillo and I have a whiskey tasting at some point.
Is that tonight?
Is that tonight?
I don't know when that is.
It could be night 4. I don't know. Could be night 5.
TBD.
I gotta look at the app.
Yeah.
The app.
Oh.
The messaging service on the app. Between you and Mrs. Dillo, especially because technology.
Right.
Oh, how do you think that's been going?
Pretty laggy, pretty delayed. At first I'm like, oh, this works great. Until you see Mrs. Dillo didn't get my message I replied to her yesterday until an hour later. So while we were sitting next to each other. So, that's a little tricky.
I don't know if they were taking pictures of us or what. They're like, it's Dillo's Tiz. Run for your life.
Yeah, for those of you listening to the audio version of this, we are sitting in the lobby, in the atrium of the Disney Fantasy. It's very public, but we're doing it. Here we are, guys. We're doing it. It's happening.
Which is actually the least publicly occupied area at the moment.
That's true.
We went to every floor, going, where can we hide so nobody knows who we are?
We have magnets, though.
There are magnets on our doors, so we got to shout out DCLDuo,
Yes.
Hyperion Adventures Podcast, Kraus Adventures, right?
Yes, Cross Mouse Adventures, and DCL Cruising Dad.
Yeah, who you reached out to. What did you...
Oh, yeah, because we did the scavenger, so me, Mrs. Dillo, and the kids did the detective scavenger hunt thing on the boat, which literally takes you from the front to the back of the ship, every floor, and you just go back and forth. So we were seeing so many doors, and last time we learned the magnets is a big thing, so we knew this time to bring magnets. But then we're seeing all these extra things. People are like, oh, take one, and it's lollipops, and it's there's whiteboards with questions and answers on them. There's so much happening in these rooms. But then there's these little cubbies, almost like little mailboxes, and we're like, what is this? What is this for? What's happening? So yes, shout out to Chris, DCL Cruising Dad, for answering my question, because I messaged him really quick going, please educate me, what is happening? And I guess it's like a Secret Santa type thing, and you can get into a group and you can do it, or you can just add some pixie dust to people's day and leave random gifts if you would like. But it's very cool and very cute, but my goodness, how do you learn about all of this? I feel like we're so out of the loop in the Disney cruising world.
Right.
Whatever.
More so, if we feel more lost, I think, compared to DVC, because we're never doing DVC. So, I mean, famous last words, but I don't think we are. But now that
year later, no.
now that we've done a couple of these, especially in recent years, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure. But we're learning. We're getting there. And, again, like we said, 2 years ago, we never thought we would be doing this kind of trip again. So we really can't ever say never, I guess.
And I'm excited today on day 4 here, because I feel day 2 was a loss for me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sleeping. There was a lot of boat movement.
Yeah.
There was a lot, and I blame Theme Park Rob for that.
Oh.
Just so on the record.
Yeah, because, he did warn us. Did I not tell you? He warned me.
Yeah.
So.
No, he messaged and
Okay.
said, beware.
Beware of the high
I was like,
seas.
I wish I didn't read that. I'm just kidding. Theme Park Rob. It actually better prepared me than I thought. I didn't want to go with the patch. I didn't want to go with anything.
Yeah.
Because I get a little cranky when I have the medication for the cruising.
The angry eyes come out.
And so I made it through the first night, cleared, slept. And I was like, great, maybe I won't need it. And by the breakfast rolled around, I was like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dying. And then by lunch, I was almost dead.
Yeah.
There was not much color in my face.
That's true. But here we are, day 4, and we're coming back. We got a little sun outside. We were sitting by the pool right before this.
Yep.
Maybe we'll head up there soon again. Who knows?
And then, we're hoping that, much like the last cruise, the character meet and greet lines let up a little bit, because we'd like the kids and us to do a couple more photo ups. The content, the autograph books, we got to get them all together and try to have them do meet and greets when they're not in camp also. It's like a juggling time.
Right, yes, true.
Which was also the Walt Disney World portion of the trip, was juggling time.
That was everything.
But we'll get to that at another point. Maybe we'll do one more of these. Maybe 2 more. 2 more?
Maybe. One
We'll
more.
see what we have. Well, we'll see what we got. Until the next audio video version of this. She's Jen. I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Deuces.
We are here once again. Day 5? Is it day 5 of a 7-night cruise?
You said 4 yesterday, right? So I guess so.
5 follows 4.
Who understands math? Who understands time on a cruise ship?
We're
Not me.
not at all.
No.
What is time?
What is time?
We're outside St. Thomas here. I can't flip the camera to show you, so unfortunately we'll share a little bit here.
Maybe we'll do an IG live after this again.
Maybe we'll do an Insta live, or we will have the vlog portion if you're listening to the audio portion of the podcast, and we will have a what's it called? A complimentary. It's not free, is it? I don't.
What?
But we'll have
We'll vlog it up?
We'll vlog it up.
We'll vlog it up. It'll be fine.
So we're here to talk about 3 things that we've done on this cruise in this portion of the podcast. Maybe there'll be one more section after this.
Yeah, there might be. Who knows?
Who can say? And so we're going to talk about 3 things. We're going to talk about a wine tasting that Jen and Mama Dillo and Mrs. Dillo did. We're going to talk about a whiskey tasting that Mr. Dillo, a.k.a. Gelman, and myself did. And we're going to talk about our Paolo brunch that all the adults did while the kids were at the Oceaneer Club.
Yes.
Jen, I think in order, the wine tasting came first.
Correct, it did.
That means you.
That's
you go
me?
first.
So
yes.
now it's me. It's
That's
my
right.
turn. So for some background, Mama Dillo, a wine drinker, very particular in her wine at this stage of the game. She's a wine and ice kind of gal.
Mm-hmm.
But, loves the wines. Mrs. Dillo, wine connoisseur.
Yes.
She does trips each year with her besties.
Yes.
And goes on tastings and goes to countries and states. She's all the knowledge about the wine.
Loves the wine.
Hi, excuse me, I'll have a glass of wine, that's fine. I like wine. I have been to Napa Valley, which I enjoyed very much. We did some tastings there. Mr. Dillo apparently didn't know that's what we were doing there, but that is in fact what that was. So, and I like wine. I like red more than white personally. However, in my old age, I can't do the red as much anymore. It gives me a headache instantly. So I don't do that as much. But regardless, we all like the wine, which is why we did the wine tasting. Mm-hmm. And during the wine tasting, we sampled 3 whites and 3 reds. And they went all in on, and I forgot what Mrs. Dillo actually explained what we were doing, almost like taking a test of becoming a wine connoisseur. I don't know, I'm not saying the right thing, but
Well, like a sommelier testing?
Yes, I think so. We learned about, we could tell the region it was from, the type of climate it was, the country. He told us how to break that all down by, everyone kind of knows, well, okay, I shouldn't say everyone knows, but a lot of people have seen people sniff wine, and ooh, that's how, whatever. But it was smell the wine, tilt it, look at the legs. If the legs are doing a certain thing, it's from this region. And if it smells this way, it's from this region. But then if you swirl it and you smell it again, now you can pick up on more clues. And it was you can narrow down where this wine is coming from based on all of those things, which was very interesting and pretty crazy, and something I've never thought that you could actually figure out by drinking wine. So that was very cool. And I think it was about, is it a half hour or 45 minutes? 50 minutes?
I was not there. I do not know.
Right. I don't remember. But it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed the wines. Mama Dillo didn't enjoy the reds as much. I think she's very used to the whites at this point. I think me and Mrs. Dillo enjoyed the reds more than the whites. For me personally, I didn't not like any of them so much that I wouldn't drink them. But yeah, it was really interesting. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and that was way more than I clearly was Dilloing my expectations with it all. So it was I learned a lot from that one.
Well, and to add, I feel like you and Mama Dillo and Mrs. Dillo are always trying to plan some sort of excursion involving wine out on Long Island.
Yes.
That always seemingly gets canceled.
Correct.
So
we did it once.
One time.
One time. And we'll do it again. We did say that. We mentioned that during the wine tasting. Mama Dillo, I don't think believes it anymore. But we're going to make it happen. So it's fine.
Yeah. So that was day. Was that was it? That was day 2.
That was day 2. Yeah.
That was day 2.
Yeah.
Was the wine tasting, and then on day 3, the 6 adults partook in a
Pecan pie.
Partake in the pecan pie. We did a Apollo brunch at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Kids went to the Oceaneer.
Obviously.
And some of us said 2 hours, some of us said 3 hours, closest without going over. Clearly went near the 3-hour mark.
Yes.
But we did not get a notification to pick up our children, which is nice.
That's a win. It's a win. It was a win all around. We got 3 hours of eating.
Yeah. You did the Paolo brunch 2 years ago.
Correct.
Mrs. Dillo and I did the Paolo dinner 2 years ago. Did Mama and Papa Dillo eat at Paolo previously on their cruise 100 years ago?
100 years ago, yes. 100 or 12. I don't remember the timing exactly, but it was around there.
It was around that time period. So the many courses of a Paolo brunch. We all tried not to eat breakfast, right? You didn't eat breakfast, right?
No.
I was getting breakfast for the 8-year-old, and also had a plate for myself, and I'm loading up my plate, and halfway through I went, I'm not eating breakfast today.
No.
So, but those hash browns, they are hard to resist at Cabanas.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, sorry you can't eat the hash browns.
I don't know. I maybe could, but I don't know.
Fernando was our waiter, is it the server? I don't.
Yes.
And the excellent, right across the board. Not surprising. In the first portion of this recording, the part 1, as it were, we talked about. We felt like the regular dining, the Cabanas offerings, the dining room offerings, seem to have leveled up from 2022, and the Paolo dinner was the highlight last time for me. I think the Paolo brunch was the highlight for you. Yeah. So I would say that again, the food was top notch, and the things that I didn't expect to be that good were better. Like, flatbread pizza is flatbread pizza.
Yeah.
But those were particularly good because I was like, I can't eat all of this because I'm not going to eat my entree. No, I didn't care. I was like, just don't eat the crust. If don't eat the crust, it'll be fine.
How could you leave that crust though? It looked.
I know. How could I leave the crust behind?
So good.
And I felt like that was the only way I knew I was going to make it to the entree.
Yeah.
So, but you had a lot of. I think we should talk a little bit about the gluten-free experience at home.
Yeah, because for most of the food I could enjoy without it being tweaked for gluten-free because of the flour they use in Italy that is brought over for Paolo. And I have heard this many times that if you go over to Europe, you can probably enjoy your life and enjoy bread. And because, I'm not saying the U.S. put some stuff in food, but maybe they put some. Anyway, so yeah, I was able to enjoy pretty much most of it. The only thing that was tweaked was the flatbread pizza for me, so I had the thinner pizza crust, which was still good. I mean, it's still a delicious flatbread experience, but clearly I can tell the difference between my crust and your crust. So that, I don't know, it would have been hard to leave that crust on the table, but I do understand trying to save the room because I did not finish my entire flatbread because I was like, it's starting to get full. I need to pace myself and take a breather. So yeah, we did that. We did not discuss how we kicked off the meal.
Oh, I don't. How did we?
With a refreshing experience.
Oh, I did not know this until this past trip, but Apollo does. Usually you go to a nice restaurant and they're like, you want the tap water or you want the better water. Yeah, sparkling water. We're always like, we don't want the tap water. So because you called it tap water, that's enough for us not to want it. And so usually we get the Pellegrino. Yeah. Here at Paolo, it's not just tap or sparkling. It's an array of different sparkling and non-sparkling waters from around the world.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Fernando recommended the Finland water, the sparkling water. He did not disappoint with his recommendation.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, it's gonna taste like water. It'll be fine, whatever. And they're just telling us about all these different waters from all these different places, and that's nice. It'll be a different time. It tasted different.
And I've had in Iceland, you know, even at the hotel, they're like, you could drink, you know, you basically can dump your cup in the toilet and drink the water, and that's basically how good the water is in Iceland. I don't recommend that, but you know, bathroom sink, kitchen sink, whatever, you can drink the water from anywhere in Iceland. So I feel like similarly, the Finland water, the Belamo is what it was called, right? Belamo.
remember.
You say Belamo, I say Belomo, and I don't think that's right. I think it's
it.
Belamo. And we will go from there.
Yeah.
But a delicious, refreshing way. There were many mimosas to be had. I had a lovely Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall, the egg portion, the flatbread portion.
You did not have eggs, though.
No, I had I had the apple cinnamon waffles because they sounded delicious. And you're thinking you're in a restaurant where there are no children, so you don't expect to get the mega Mickey Mouse waffle in the shape of Mickey with the you know, and then it gets dropped in front of you, and you're like, oh, I feel awkward now for ordering the apple cinnamon waffles because
we're on a Disney cruise, for goodness sakes.
You know, I understand, but I didn't think we try to stay away from the mouse with the kids. The kids are drawn to the mouse. We don't want them here.
We don't want them to know what's up here.
But overall, yes, a delicious 2-hour and 45-minute experience. Apollo, and they were very attentive. Again, I think, 2 years ago, and this is not a negative. It's just it was the space. There was a lot of spacing things we were still doing in 2022. A lot of masking still happening on our cruise in 2022. It just seems like there's a lot more cast member engagement going on. They were engaged last time, but you felt separated a little bit. There's a lot more connection going on, I think, this time around, which is lovely.
Yeah. No, it's been fantastic, and all of us could barely eat at dinner that night. Because we were still full. And I think last time when Mr. Dillo and I did the brunch, we had like a 1 o'clock brunch, and we were like, we shouldn't have eaten breakfast at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
This one was at 11. We finished after close to 2.
Yep.
And still by dinner at 5:45 after 6, we're like, I don't want to eat much. I am not hungry. So it is an experience, and one that I would always recommend if someone was going on a Disney cruise. So.
Yeah, 100%. Do it.
Yeah.
Just drop the bucks to do it. That's where you put the extra bucks.
Yeah.
And then last night, night 4, I don't know if Jen was sneezing or coughing there. What was she doing? Last night, night 4, as it were, Mr. Dillo and I did a whiskey tasting, right? It was night 4? Are you counting? This is 5, right? Tomorrow is 6, Friday is 7, and then it's over.
Trip is over.
Trip is over. It was a 9:30 tasting. So after our early seating meal, we took a little break at O'Gill's, like we do.
Like you do.
Like tradition says
Obviously.
to do.
Come on.
And then, there was the fireworks last night, which I did not think about when I booked. First, I was a little tweaked that it was at 9:30 to begin with when I made the reservation.
It's too late for us.
I would like. It's the time we have to pick up the kids to go to bed. And then I did not think about Pirate Night, fireworks, all of that. So we didn't get to see the fireworks, not because of the wine, the whiskey tasting going over, which it did.
Yeah.
But also because this ship on this cruise is at 106% capacity, as directly told to us by a cast member officer yesterday. 106% capacity, and it shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more people are in St. Thomas today.
Yeah.
So it feels very light, but you can feel that 106%, which makes me a little nervous for character meet and greets the rest of the week. I'm not going to get anxiety about it. So, Mr. Dillo and I, we go up to the Cove on 11 at 9:30, like right on time, and it's and they don't have anything set for us.
Yeah.
And the cast member is very apologetic because I guess there was some sort of technological snafu on the app and who had reservations and who didn't. And but we were on the list, but they were obviously at capacity around, so they had to scramble a little bit to get the rest of the
You told them
the
who you were.
made. Well, I said this will be mentioned on the podcast. I hope you know. I did not say that. But, you know, I think the only difference was everyone else got, like, the fancy shishi water to rinse their palate, and Mr. Dillo and I got the metal bottles of Dasani.
Oh.
Nothing against Dasani. Perfectly fine. Drinkable water.
Not those bottles, so you can't open them.
No,
You break your hand opening those
no,
bottles.
we're
I
in
don't
the Descendants, Rise of Red in the movie theater. Can't open the thing.
Can you open this for me? I can't open it.
So yeah, they're very challenging.
Yeah.
So and Five Whiskeys, our lovely host from Brazil, whose name I think was Natty. It was Naty, I believe. I don't want to say her name wrong. But the Five Whiskeys, one was an Irish, one was a rye, one was Johnny Walker Island Green, one was a Whistle Pig. It made my gums numb, but was delicious. And then Japanese whiskey was the closer. Don't want to botch the name. All I know is that a bottle of it is $210. I want to say it's Yamagatsu. I'm going to go with that.
Okay. And that was Mr. Snidillo's favorite.
Also, yeah. That one was delicious.
Yeah.
The first one, which was the Irish one, tasted better with chocolate, which I thought was interesting. But similarly, of like how to smell, I never thought, I mean, I like the smell of whiskey, part of the reason why I drink, but like the proper smell, 45-degree angle, put your nose to the top portion of the glass instead of like into the bottom portion where the whiskey is, put it at the top portion.
Right.
You know, but the same thing, the tears, the legs, it's how is it coming down? All the same there, but over an hour, you have a couple of drinks at dinner, you have a couple of drinks at O'Gill's, and then you see like 5 shots of whiskey that you know you're going to partake in an hour, and you're like, am I going to make it? Am I making it through this? I mean, how is this going to turn out for me in the end? And the boat's moving again, so all these things.
Right.
All,
And you also were coming out into the crowds of Pirate Night. So,
yes. Oh, and it was like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Because I think we stepped out of the Cove, literally, Cove Cafe. Is that what it's? I keep calling it the Cove.
Sure.
But just as like the last firework blast went.
Right.
And all of a sudden we're like, oh, what's going on? And you just see like the masses starting to brag. We're like, all right, we gotta go this way. Let's go all the way down, take the stairs.
Yeah.
But those are 3 experiences that we have had here on the Disney Fantasy this week. We hope to do a 3rd portion, a trilogy of musings, as it were. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Maybe I'll take part in MCO, for goodness sake.
Okay.
Trip over. We're going to talk about MCO.
In Terminal C without the carpeting?
We got... the carpeting in Terminal C, disgraceful. But we will be back for more here on the Disney Fantasy. Bye-bye.
It's night 7.
It's night 7. We're here at O'Gill's Pub. Jen is having her final Nigel sequel.
Right, which is it's a spin of the Sunny original. We're having lighting set up.
Gelman is setting up lighting here at O'Gill's.
Hey, you look better that way. You look better like that. There you go.
We're looking good.
Yeah.
We should get ready. So here's the happy recap of the last couple days, because we did day 4, we did day 5, and now it's day 7. Working backwards because I'm not going to remember, right? So day 7, Castaway Key. Do you say K or Key?
Castaway Key. I think I say Key automatically, but sometimes then I force the K.
Yeah. So
Can we take a vote? Castaway Key or K?
It's Key.
What does Georgia say?
Castaway K. It's Castaway Key.
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 K-E-Y?
Well, we know how we're spelling it.
Right.
Spelled K.
K.
Castaway K.
Let's said Key. See?
Making it all official.
We had it right.
So cut short this morning due to some
winds.
threatening skies and high winds.
Yes.
Jen. This is not going to go well. This impromptu recording
this
with
will
a
be the
whole
best
peanut
part.
gallery over there.
This will be the
Yeah,
finale.
Statler and
of the-
Waldorf are over there. Gelman, Mrs. Dillo, Mama and Papa Dillo, and Georgia.
And Georgia, we're all here. It's fantastic. Oh, Georgia!
No, here she comes.
Yay, Georgia!
Georgia!
Future guy.
Future guest, Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
So yeah, we couldn't stay at Castaway Key very long because of the high winds. So we left early.
and oh my gosh. So made packing easier this afternoon.
Yes,
And
which is more depressing though. That's
yes.
more depressing.
More depressing.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna get louder
Yeah,
now.
so we're
Everyone
gonna-
knows it's a
yeah.
party, and we'll see how this really turns out.
There's so many people watching us.
They're
goodness.
just promoting us like crazy over there. It's our worst nightmare. Is she looking it up right now? Here we are. So here's the thing. We have provided Georgia with a list of movies that we think Mom and Dill provided a laundry list.
Yeah, literally.
Of things that we should watch.
Literally. No spoilers for the Disney World recap.
But here we are again, and so. Right. So after we're including that 5-minute blooper segment there, that was setting up here at O'Gill's, but Castaway Key, a little bit of a bust today with the stormy weather and the dark clouds
Still
and the
down
skies.
the water, and you went on the playground. That's a win.
I got to visit the playground. I didn't go down the water slide.
Why didn't you? Mrs. Dillo, why didn't he go down the water slide? Because he's afraid. All right. Well,
The water
there's
was
that.
deeper than 6 feet, and I didn't have a life jacket on. Oh, okay.
This is kind of like the Andy Cohen thing. There's like a little audience of 6 people.
And it's fine. I was okay not going down the slide. Mrs. Dillo went down like a bullet out of the slide, so that wouldn't
Which
have gone.
probably made him more nervous.
Correct.
Yeah.
I could just picture myself tumbling under the water, like that's usually what happens, and then I panicked.
Like, do you have those dreams?
No, I don't have dreams like that. It just happens sometimes. I tried to do a backflip in the water
What?
over the summer in a swimming
When?
pool.
When did you do
Not
that?
a backflip. It was a forward flip. It's
Like
not a
this
backflip.
year?
Yes. The 8-year-old wanted me to try to do a flip, and I was like, oh, I think I could get myself over and flip under the water, and I panicked as soon as I was upside down.
All right.
So sorry, that's how it goes. But
Oh, I didn't mean to
what
cover
are you
the-
touching on the
sorry,
screen?
I was trying to brighten it up a little.
We're gonna try to do
Oh,
this
you know
as a
what? I
vlog
could
too.
do
What?
this actually, right? And then this.
I never do any of these things with the phone. I don't do these things.
A little bit better. I don't know.
Jen.
Yeah?
Day 6 was at sea.
Yeah.
We did. Can I just say at the pool? I appreciate the funnel vision. Love the funnel vision. Love seeing the movies.
Oh, this
Damn-
is very angry. Get ready.
Why
for
did we
angry
have
rant.
so much time with the Cars movies? I know people love Cars, and that's fine. I appreciate the world of Cars. Why so much with the Cars? So
We
much.
didn't need them all.
But then you had all
We
the
didn't
Toy
need them
Story
all.
movies today on day
Toy
7.
Story on the day when everyone's off the ship.
That's right. Toy Story.
Come on.
That's all we
Come on.
needed.
Who needs cars?
It's $1 billion franchise. I think that's
Fine, Gelman.
All right,
Fine.
Gelman. Thanks for the fact
Gelman.
checking.
$1 billion franchise.
What is it with these Cars movies? There's the red one. And there's the guy who does my cable. There's so many. There's so many Cars movies.
All the time. This is the only way we'll podcast now.
Anyway, so that minor complaint on day 6 at sea a
Just
bunch.
because of the Cars movies.
But I think there's not much more to recap, really. We're going to make it short and sweet because of the peanut gallery that's sitting right over our head. Jen, overall thoughts of this week's cruise?
So I think compared to 2 years ago, we have found the food to be better.
Yes.
We have found the service wasn't bad last time.
No.
It just feels a little more magical this
Yes.
time.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, for us,
It's
it
crowded.
is more crowded.
The 106% capacity, less on the character greetings overall. I think if we went back to the beginning, we were hopeful the crowds, the queues would let up as it got towards the end of the week. That
Yeah.
really didn't happen.
Yeah.
So not much content with the character greetings
Right.
this week.
Yeah, we got. We were kind of hoping, because that was one of our favorite things last time. It's like running into the characters and all of that. And not that we didn't, because there were still a few of those moments, just not as much.
Yes.
But still good.
Yeah, and I think overall the extras, last time here at O'Gill's, they had a lot of the trivia, but that was over in the tube this week, and it was packed in there. So those are where you could really see. I mean, it was really telling. We didn't really realize that the capacity was that much less, I think, in 2022. It was the same week, the same time, and that was really the big takeaway was what a very large capacity aboard the Disney Fantasy does to the there's more promotion of the podcast going on over there. So the 106% capacity is probably the story of this week's cruise.
Yeah, but I mean, we did, some of the guests of Dillo's Resort were shocked to hear that we weren't getting off the boat, like, at all those first 6 days, but that's how we roll.
Yeah.
So we like the time on the boat when it's quiet. we don't like all the people.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think it would depend on the ports we were going into. Like, had we been going to St. Martin, I probably would have gotten off the boat to see the planes at the beach again, or if we were in Europe or something, I would get off the boat. Yeah. I just, I
felt like I heard a lot of people who got off at St. Thomas say they actually took a ferry over to St. John instead. I'm like,
interesting.
Well, they're not even going to St. Thomas. What's the big? That's crazy.
But I mean, I think it's been a glorious week on the Disney Fantasy. How could you have a bad time?
Yes.
We have loved every second, and we have ended our nights here at O'Gill's like we do because we did it last time. So obviously we have to do it again.
Yeah. So it's only appropriate that here we end the podcast, musings, as it were, that we're splicing together here. We have no idea how this is going to sound overall.
Yeah.
But appropriate to end at O'Gill's as the cruise comes to an end. Off to MCO on Saturday morning.
Tomorrow.
And then the the 17-day countdown to the meetup.
Yes.
What? And somehow
time?
September is coming up.
It's looming.
What is this summer? But nothing but quick. So we'll wrap it up with a nice 40 to 40. We don't know. It could be 37 minutes. It could be 40 minutes. It could be 45 minutes overall. But that's gonna wrap it up here with what we're doing here and on the podcast audio, as it were. Who knows what actually turns up? Much like we should take the time to thank Lewis and Val.
Yes.
And Jeffers and Nate and Theme Park Rob.
Yes.
For pinch hitting, as it were, the 2 weeks that we were unavailable and covering some Theme Park Thursday. I think we should do that more often, honestly.
I think so too.
Take a break. And until next time, hey everybody, have a happy trip home, Mrs. Dillo and Mama and Papa Dillo and Gelman. We're going home. We're going back to New York City. Bye-bye.
Deuces. The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit dillosdizresort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, dillosdiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2024.